So the NBA draft has come and gone, and we walked out with the biggest prize, Victor Wembanyama. But the whole basketball world already knew that. Going into the night, the Spurs had 3 picks, the first overall pick and 2 second rounders. We traded 1 and yet somehow ended up with 4 prospects. So let's look at all 4 and break them down. Starting with one of the 2 undrafted prospects the Spurs signed, Charles Bediako, a promising 6'11" big man from Alabama. While he does possess promising tools, Charles will likely need additional time to develop and refine his skills, and the Spurs already have plenty of players that need developing. Charles is far from what the Spurs need, in my opinion. On offense, Charles demonstrates proficiency with his traditional big man skills. He excels at rim running, finishing strong at the basket, and being a rim protector. He shows relentlessness to secure offensive boards from time to time. Bediako also exhibits good straight line speed. He also has a good feel for the pick and roll. However, Bediako lacks the ability to create opportunities for himself outside of the pick and roll, offensive boards, and playmaking from his teammates. He may one day develop the skills, but currently I only see him as an able body for the Spurs in the Summer League team. And maybe he makes it to the Austin roster. They signed him to a 10-day exhibition contract for training camp. But the other undrafted player that the Spurs got was more fortunate. Meet Sir Jabari Rice, or is it just Jabari Rice? If anybody knows, let me know down in the comment. A 24-year-old shooting guard from the University of Texas, so he's familiar with the place. Rice brings experience and impact to the game as an off-ball player. Rice has consistently delivered not only through the box scores, but also by doing the little things. So Spurs fans love those type of players. His contributions were instrumental to the deep run in the NCAA tournament for the Longhorns. His game is characterized by his elite pump fake and methodical approach, keeping defenders off balance and showcasing his crafty moves to create space on the court. This makes it difficult for opponents to defend him. Shooting is one of the bigger part of Rice's game. A solid 3-level scorer, he knocked down 37% of his shots from deep. He's not an elite defender, but he can hold his own on D. He's a nice get for the Spurs. Adding shooting is a target this offseason, and signing Rice, an older rookie, to a 2-way is better than drafting him with the 33rd or the 44th pick. He's a low-cost but valuable player that the Spurs can stash in Austin till they call him to the main roster. On to the second draft pick for the Spurs, Sidi Sissoko from G League Ignite, and to add on, he's French, so there might be a connection between him and Wembenyama right off the bat, but we'll see. Hey, future link here. I'm just editing the video. Most of this was recorded just after the draft. And to answer the question we just left off, yes, Sidi and Victor do have a history together. They played against each other when they were younger, but we'll tackle more on that when we get to the Victor part of the video. A versatile and sturdy 6'7" wing, skilled on both on and off the ball. His passing instincts, particularly for a big wing, is a standout feature of his game. In an interview with Brian Wright, he discussed that Sidi in Europe, he played a lot on the ball as a big point guard. However, he still has room to grow in terms of understanding the game, refine his ball handling, and make better decisions as a playmaker. Sidi possesses the physical tools to excel on D, showing his potential in upside and the ability to guard multiple positions, while Sidi's outside shooting needs improvement and consistency. Although he can score, he is not primarily a scoring-focused player. From G League Ignite and France, before the draft, some projected him to be a mid-first round pick. It's actually great for the Spurs that he dropped to our last pick in the second round. Sidi brings valuable potential to the Spurs roster. As of now, it's reported that the Spurs will sign him to a 2-way contract alongside Jabari Rice to keep the roster flexible and to call him up once needed, but he might possibly beat someone for a final roster spot. We'll see. For the next pick, we'll keep it short since we traded the selection at 33rd overall. The 6'11" forward Leonard Miller was traded to Minnesota for 2 future second-round picks. It's reported that Minnesota made this selection because the Spurs had no plans in taking a prospect with this pick after failing to move up in the first round. Like I said earlier, San Antonio has enough players to develop, including Wembenyama, and the move to sign 2 other prospects in a 2-way contract and to get 2 future second round picks was a better long-term move for the San Antonio Spurs. And finally, we get to the guy who went first overall, Victor Wembanyama, who is already in San Antonio by the time this video is published. Not a lot to say that hasn't been said already, only that he still gets Spurs fans to get excited for the future of the franchise. It's been confirmed by the media and Victor himself that he will play in the Summer League. How many games exactly, we don't know. But to see him suit up for the Spurs before next season, sign me up. Safe to say we came out as massive winners just from this pick alone. So going back to Siri Sissoko and Victor Wembanyama, upon interviews, both have confirmed that when they were younger at the age of 10, they were both playing against each other. Victor described Siri as an aggressive scorer, always getting and one buckets when he was defending him. I mean, a lot has changed since their last encounter, and when the Spurs welcomed their rookies to San Antonio in the press conference and all that, we only got to see 2 of our prospects, and I believe only the 2 of them were featured because they were the 2 draft picks that we had. I mean, last year, we had the rookie trio in Jeremy, Malachi, and Blake Wesley in their official press conference, even though we signed undrafted prospect Dominic Barlow. So there's still hope for Jabari Rice and Charles Bediako. Sorry if this video came out a few days after the draft, but if you still enjoyed it, how about leaving it a like and consider subscribing to the channel, because we will be covering the Summer League since we've confirmed that Victor will play. And if he does eventually play for his French national team, look to see us covering that as well, just to see where Victor's game is before the season. And tell me in the comments down below, do you think Siri Sissoko will be a fan favorite in San Antonio? If you haven't seen the Spurs rookie press conference, let me just tell you that Siri Sissoko is fluent in English, French, and Spanish. So that's something for San Antonio folks out there. Plus, he said this.
Man, he's great. I was in Dallas, but you know, like Dallas, I don't like the Mavericks. so that's what I'm talking about.
I really think this guy's gonna be a fan favorite, and I do wish for all of these guys to pan out, especially Victor and City. It'll be fun to see him and the rest of our team play in this upcoming season. If you learned anything new about the prospects the Spurs took outside of Victor Wembanyama, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more Spurs and Wemby content. That's it for now. Till the Summer League.